Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. California Lieutenant Governor calls for state to explore every legal option to remove Trump from 2024 ballot. And notice isn't the governor, Gavin Newsom, because he wants to keep his powder dry because he wants to run for president, whether it be this cycle, upcoming 2024, or 2028, or whatever comes up. God only knows what's going to happen. Those of you that say that, before we go in the story, those of you that say, Trump would never win California anyway, so what difference does it make? It's the Electoral College that elects the president. But people are forgetting something. This is a strategy, not just to keep Trump off the ballot, but people, Republicans especially in California, in swing districts, and there still are some Republican-leaning districts in California. Those people are going to stay home without Trump on the ballot. And that's one of the main reasons why they're doing it. Let's read on. A day after Colorado Supreme Court disqualified former President Donald Trump for appearing on the state's ballot in 2024, minutes dated January 4th, so the Supreme Court could chime in. So it's not really disqualified technically. California Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounalakis is asking the state Secretary of State to explore every legal option to do the same. She sent a letter to the Secretary of State Shirley Weber dated December 20th in referencing Colorado's recent ruling that stated Trump was ineligible to appear on the state's ballot as a presidential candidate because of his role in inciting an insurrection on January 6, 2021. Even if that was true, the 14th Amendment, the third section, does not cover this. It's just BS. It's just more smoke and mirrors. Every time something comes out against the Biden family or the Democrats, they pull a stunt like this. This is just about honoring the rule of law in our country, protecting the fundamental pillars of our democracy, she said. What a joke. What a joke. Trump's insurrection disqualifies him under Section 3 of the Fourth Amendment. That's a lie. To stand for presidential re-election because the candidate is ineligible, the court ruled, and it would be a wrongful act for the Colorado Secretary of State to list him as a candidate on the state's presidential primary ballot. They already said in Colorado, the GOP said we're going to go to a caucus if they take him off the ballot. So it'll come out the same. This isn't about that, like I said. This is also about control of the House of Representatives. They are pulling out every single stop, not only to go after Trump, but to keep the House of Representatives, put it back in their hands. God knows what they're capable of. Now, let's take a look and see what the current president, Joe Biden, has to say considering the Colorado ruling. I find it very interesting. First, he has no comment because it's a court case, and then he makes a comment to the press. Let's check it out.
Mr. President, your reaction to the Colorado ruling on Trump and the ballot?
I'm not going to comment on a court case. That's up to the court. That's all I have to say.
Is he an insurrectionist? Is Trump an insurrectionist, sir?
Well, I think certainly it's self-evident. You saw it all. Now, whether the 14th Amendment applies, we'll let the court make that decision. But he certainly supported an insurrection. And no question about it. None. Zero. And he seems to be doubling down on about everything. Anyway.
Well, there you have it. First, he had no opinion because it's in court. And then it was obvious that he committed insurrection and tried to overthrow the government. No, he didn't. It wasn't an overthrow. It was the worst insurrection in history. What do they think? It's like medieval Europe? Well, we take over the castle. We're now the king. It doesn't work that way. Now, one firearm was brought to bear. None. And the vast majority of the people, especially on the one side of the Capitol, there was two sides they were run over by protesters. One was extremely peaceful. Nothing was destroyed, no graffiti, nobody was hurt. Very small amount of people pushed on the police and entered. And as we see now, many of those could very well have been either informants or government FBI agents themselves, or people that are working for the FBI. Let's read on. What a joke. So Colorado's decision would be the basis for California's decision. The Constitution is clear. You must be 35 years old and not be an insurrectionist. That's not what it says. Though in an earlier version of the letter they had social media, Lieutenant Governor wrote, you must be 40. She's a dope. There she is. You're a dope. D-O-P-E, dope. How can some of these people that have such huge educations are so supposedly so intelligent be so stupid? She also said, not as a matter of political gamesmanship, but instead a dire matter that puts at stake the sanctity of our Constitution and our democracy. Oh, really? When your state decided to be a sanctuary state a decade ago plus, did you holler and say, well, no, that's against the Constitution and federal law? You didn't say a word. You're an idiot. Colorado's disqualification was made on the 14th Amendment and tied to the Capitol riot. The 4-3 ruling is stayed until January 4th because of likely appeals. 3 justices in the Colorado Supreme Court decided, now here's the deal. Here's the deal. All 7 of the Colorado Supreme Court judges are Democrats. And it still was a close decision, 4-3, because they know it's total 100% bull. It's amazing to me. We did not reach the decision lightly, the court said. Yeah. In a previous ruling, the district judge said allows Trump to stay on the ballot, but found he engaged in insurrection anyway. Yeah. Colorado Secretary of State Griswold said in a statement she would continue to follow court guidance at this important issue. Oh, yeah, I'm sure you will. You're an idiot. And to your French speakers out there, EDO. The Colorado Supreme Court has ruled that Donald Trump is barred from the Colorado ballot for inciting January 6th insurrection and attempting to overturn the 2020 presidential election. This decision may be appealed. Oh, do you think? Moron. And then, of course, they list again. There's nothing in here. Here's what the 14th Amendment states, the section they're talking about. Basically what it is, any of you that follow history, basically what this is they did not want Confederate leaders coming back to the House of Representatives, the Senate, or be appointed to anything like a cabinet post or, I'll say, the head of a post office or whatever. In fact, everybody that retook the oath to the United States was put on parole. Nobody went to jail. Nobody was charged with insurrection. If that was the case, then when they had Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy, in prison for, I think, for a year or two, if I'm not mistaken, he was never charged. Why? Because he didn't commit insurrection according to the law. If they did not charge insurrection with the president of the Confederacy after a 4-year war and 600,000 Americans dead, then you're not going to get one. Or any state who have previously taken an oath as member of the Congress. Okay, that doesn't qualify for Trump. Or as an officer of the United States, doesn't qualify. Or as any member of any state legislature, as an executive or judicial officer of any state, doesn't qualify. To support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof, but Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. In other words, if they want somebody that's a former Confederate cabinet member or higher up or a general, if the Senate and the House of Representatives by 2/3 vote, they can remove the disability. It's amazing with me. It's amazing. Disqualification related to Trump's appearance on the ballot are pending in 13 states. Yeah, it's the swing states they're really after. But there's another evil intent. And that evil intent is this. Like I said, California, we'll say New York. I live in upstate New York where I live. President Trump would never win any electoral votes. Let's just be perfectly frank here. And the same goes for almost all of New England. Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maryland, Rhode Island, Delaware, all of them would never vote for Donald Trump for president in the Electoral College. But what will happen is all the down ballot people that are Republicans that can pick up seats in many of those states, the people won't be there because Trump isn't on the ballot. And that's really one of the evil, sinister mechanisms these clowns are using. I have no doubt the Supreme Court will overrule it. I have no doubt. Maybe they'll just overrule it for the considering the primary ballot. Who knows? Because they have two speeds, often slow. But the fact of the matter is, I personally believe that if it does go to the Supreme Court, they're going to overturn it 9-0. And that's not just wishful thinking. It's not at all. We're going to have to see. Oh, gosh, it's not even 2024 yet. It's already starting up. Can you imagine what it's going to be like 6-8 months from now? God help us all. Until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.